Kobe is a global icon, adored around the world by fans and athletes alike. His Mamba mentality is a gold standard for work ethic and focus. Pau Gasol is one of the most accomplished international players of all time, respected on and off the court for his skill and intellect. But in 2007, both players were at the low points of their careers. People openly questioned Kobe's character and dedication to his Lakers team.
I don't know if he's sick or injured or what.
He was being very selfish, I think.
Meanwhile in Memphis, Pau Gasol was thought of as soft, as his Grizzlies teams were swept out of the first round in 3 straight playoffs. The summer of 2007, Kobe's drama was detailed in a piece by Sports Illustrated titled Kobe Summer Vacation. The summer started with Kobe going on radio.
I would like to be traded. There's no other alternative.
And publicly talked about teammates and the Lakers organization.
Chip his ass up. You talking about Jason Kidd?
At the same time, grabbing a lot less attention, Pau had also requested a trade from Memphis to try to get to a contending team. The result of their request was a move that would change the history of the NBA.
Vanished treasure arrives on the shores of Los Angeles.
Their success cemented the legacy of the Mamba, made a soft Spaniard into a Hall of Famer, and created brotherhood beyond the game.
When you look at Dasi, si me gusta. He is excited about having Pau Gasol.
Pau, yo.
Over this 4-part series, we'll deep dive Kobe and Pau's youth, the trade that brought them together,
Pau, I ran into him over the summer.
And now maybe we can get to play together.
and how Kobe's leadership helped mold Pau into a champion.
Pau hates it every time I tell the story. He hates it.
This is the story of Kobe Bryant and Pau Gasol. Kobe Bean Bryant was born on August 3, 1978 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kobe had basketball in his blood, as his mother Pam had a brother, John Chubby Cox, who briefly played in the NBA, while Kobe's dad, nicknamed Jelly Bean, played in the NBA for 8 seasons. Joe Jelly Bean Bryant would finish his career in Europe, moving the Bryant family overseas when Kobe was 6 years old. Kobe spent 1st to 7th grade in Italy, which he considered his home, and where he developed his love for the game. When Kobe was 14, his dad retired and the family moved back to Philly, which was tough on a teenage Kobe.
8th grade year. And it was a difficult adjustment because kids weren't speaking English. Everybody was speaking slang. And I didn't understand one word. Unfortunately, because of the lack of communication with my peers, I wasn't invited to parties or friendly gatherings on the weekend. So on Fridays and Saturdays, I would go in my rec room with my basketball and basically dribble myself to sleep. And I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because during those lonely hours in the rec room, I discovered the hunger, the motivation, and the desire to be the best possible basketball player that I could be.
Those long nights paid off as Kobe put himself in a position to go from high school straight to the NBA.
I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
Becoming the 4th player to ever make that jump and the first non-big man. Kobe made his professional debut on November 3rd, 1996, the youngest person to ever play in the NBA at 18 years, 72 days old. One of the greatest scorers of all time, only played 6 minutes in his debut and didn't score a single point in that first game, and spent his first few seasons isolated from Laker teammates who were much older.
I feel like a father, though. I mean, this is my boy.
Kobe's loneliness led him to look for other outlets, mainly anything Disney and of course a side career as a rapper. He even had one song with model Tyra Banks that changed his life. Well, not the song itself, but while filming the music video, he met someone special.
I said, excuse me, what's your name? Vanessa. My eyes got real big and it just like...
Kobe and Vanessa were inseparable and would be engaged within 6 months.
She became my best friend. It was very different to have somebody that I was so close to, because I had been so used to growing up in isolation, really.
When they got married, Vanessa was 19 and Kobe was only 22, but he was quickly becoming the face of the NBA as he was in the middle of a championship run with teammate Shaquille O'Neal. The unstoppable duo made 4 finals appearances in 5 years, winning 3 NBA titles. But when the Lakers shockingly lost to the Pistons in 2004, a move was inevitable. Behind this success, Kobe and Shaq had been feuding for years over who was the leader of the team.
What do we want down there at the other end? You're a 5 leg. I ain't touching you. My side leg. All right.
Almost coming to physical altercations more than once, as Kobe was tired of being labeled a little brother. The summer after the Pistons loss, both players requested trades from the Lakers, and the 8-year dynasty ended with Shaq sent to the Miami Heat. In the 3 seasons after the public breakup, Kobe had some legendary individual performances. Including a one-week stretch where Kobe scored 50 in 4 straight games. He would lead the NBA in scoring in back-to-back seasons, including averaging over 35 points in the 2006 season.
Kobe, the distance. He's at 60.
He also had the second greatest scoring performance of all time when he put up 81 on the Toronto Raptors.
74. And then the free throw that gives him 81 points.
And almost single-handedly led the Lakers to an upset over the Suns in the 2006 playoffs, capped off by this buzzer beater.
Anybody with sense should know Kobe's the man right now.
But his teams had 2 first-round exits, including a Game 7 where he only took 3 shots and scored 1 point in the second half, which many felt he did on purpose to show the lack of the talent around him. He was even publicly called out by analyst Charles Barkley.
Why did Kobe Bryant take 3 shots in the second half?
I think he was being very selfish. I think he stopped shooting because he wanted to say, those guys didn't help me. He did it a couple of years ago when they had Shaq. He wanted to prove you guys can't do anything without me. But the truth of the matter, he was very selfish.
He took offense and went on the TNT show that led to this exchange.
Label me as being selfish was something that I took up with Charles.
Right.
You know, over the text messages thing. It's one thing to criticize an individual's game, but it's another thing to...
Did you see where taking 3 shots in that game was going to raise some eyebrows?
No, not really. We knew that the strategy was to get everybody involved because that affects the defensive end of the floor.
But at some point, you got to say, I got to take this game over, and I got to be aggressive, at least got to go down firing. That was really my only point, directing that at you.
Meanwhile, in Miami, Shaq captured his 4th championship alongside Dwayne Wade. Shaq wrote in his autobiography, he proved he could win anywhere, not just with some shot-happy guard in Los Angeles, which infuriated Kobe.
It never bothered me that people said, well, you only win championships because you're playing with Shaq. It bothered me when he said it. You understand? So when he said it, I said, okay, you know what? That's it. Because you know what time it is.
The summer of 2007, there was a lot of drama surrounding the Lakers. The summer started with Kobe going on public radio.
Are you saying that you want to be traded?
Yeah, I would like to be traded. There's no other alternative. You know, they obviously want to move in a different direction in terms of, you know, rebuilding. I wish they would have, you know, told me that, you know, prior to me resigning with the team.
Is there anything that the Los Angeles Lakers could do to make you change your mind that you do not want to be traded?
No.
Nothing?
No.
The Lakers franchise was falling apart, and Lakers owner Dr. Jerry Buss boarded a plane to talk to his star in Barcelona. That conversation in Spain did not go well, with Kobe standing by his trade request and Dr. Buss saying, quote, the Lakers would certainly listen to trade offers for Bryant. Kobe was traveling with his family in Spain and by chance was staying at the same hotel where Memphis Grizzlies all-star Pau Gasol would do his summer workout.
We ran into each other in Barcelona, at the same hotel that I was working out. He was staying in. We had a good conversation, saying, hey, what are you doing here?
Pau Gasol Saez is a native of Spain, born on July 6, 1980 in Barcelona at the famous Sant Pau Hospital. Both his parents worked in the medical field.
I grew up in a home where my mom was a doctor, my dad was a nurse, so I would be acknowledged for being the son of my mother, for being a great doctor and helping their family. So I was like, okay, that's just really cool.
Pau's parents also played basketball at lower levels and passed on the love for the game to their children. Pau's youth was also heavily impacted by the Dream Team, who showcased the game on a global stage in Barcelona during the '92 Olympics. For a 12-year-old Pau, it was a rare chance to see the best NBA players in action, including Magic Johnson, who had just been forced to retire from the NBA a year earlier after being diagnosed with HIV.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers.
HIV at the time was thought to be a death sentence, and Magic's announcement was global news. At only 11 years old, young Pau vowed to follow in his mother's steps and become a doctor to help find a cure to HIV and AIDS. Even after his growth spurt and playing professional basketball for FC Barcelona, he kept both his dreams alive by enrolling in medical school when he was 18. He spent a year trying to be both a doctor and a professional player, but as his basketball career started to take off, he decided to go all in on basketball for a year to see if he could make it. In that year, he went from Barcelona's B team to senior team and would lead Barcelona to the 2001 Spanish National Cup while being named MVP of the tournament. That performance put him on NBA radars, and he entered the 2001 NBA draft.
The third pick in the 2001 draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Pau Gasol from FC Barcelona.
Who then traded him to the Grizzlies for Sharif Abdul-Rahim.
I don't know, man. I'm really excited. It is the best day in my life, you know.
In his rookie season with the Grizzlies, he averaged 17.6 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks.
Gasol says, "Que pasa, big ticket? Que pasa?"
He became the first foreign player to win the NBA Rookie of the Year award. In Pau's first 6 seasons, he made one All-Star team, but was largely known for being swept out of the first round in 3 consecutive playoffs. He was outplayed by 3 of the premier forwards of the league, Tim Duncan, Amari Stoudemire, and Dirk Nowitzki. Despite his elite skill, not being able to win a single playoff game in those 3 years, along with his kind personality and babyface, gave him the label of being soft. After those 3 playoff sweeps, the Grizzlies went into a rebuild, which led to a frustrated Pau requesting a trade from the team. That summer of 2007, when Kobe and Pau ran into each other in Barcelona, both players had standing trade requests.
I ran into him over the summer in Barcelona. We had a chance to catch up a little bit. I know him fairly well.
And we were talking about our situations, how we wanted to both to be in a better place, and maybe we can get to play together.
But neither had any reason to believe it was actually possible. Pau left it up to Grizzlies management to make a move. Meanwhile, Kobe actively tried to force his way out of LA, with the summer drama reaching a boiling point on June 17, 2007, when an amateur video of Kobe saying Lakers should have traded young center Andrew Bynum for Jason Kidd was made public.
And he's the one that drafted Bynum, so he's not going to let him go. Fucking ship his ass up. He's talking about Jason Kidd, but he didn't want to do that. They think Andrew Bynum's so now we sit here in this fucked up position.
A few weeks later, when NBA training camps came around, people were wondering if Kobe would show up.
Right, baby, day one.
He made the flight to Hawaii and seemingly backed off his trade requests.
I feel good. In USA basketball, I didn't have to do too much.
Pau was still unhappy with the Grizzlies organization, but didn't have to board a plane as Memphis held their training camps in Spain. Neither the Lakers or the Grizzlies were expected to be good, and the Grizzlies started losing 22 of the first 30 games of the season. The Lakers, on the other hand, behind the emergence of 19-year-old Andrew Bynum, jumped out to a 26-11 record. However, Bynum would suffer a knee injury in a January game, ironically enough against the Grizzlies, that caused the Lakers to be more aggressive in their pursuit of help for Kobe. On the next episode, February 1st, 2008, a date that would change the NBA forever.
More breaking news out of the NBA.
How in the hell you make a trade for Pau Gasol and Kwame Brown?
We break down the infamous Pau Gasol trade.
And I'll keep telling him every week, see how my brother's playing, he's really good, we should get him.
And the Lakers become immediate title contenders with their new addition.
And we ain't done yet.